ਸਤੀ ਪਾਪ ਕਰ ਸਤ ਕਮਾਹੇ, ਗੁਰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਦੇਵਨ ਜਾਹੇ। ਹੁਕਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਪੇਜ 951-952, ਅੰਗ 951-952, ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਫਸਟ। ਸਤੀ ਪਾਪ ਕਰ ਸਤ ਕਮਾਹੇ, ਗੁਰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਦੇਵਨ ਜਾਹੇ। ਇਸਤਰੀ ਪੁਰਖ ਹੈ ਖਟਿਐ ਭਾਓ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਆਵੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਾਓ। ਸਾਸਤ ਵੇਦ ਨ ਮਾਨੈ ਕੋਏ, ਆਪੋ ਆਪੈ ਪੂਜਾ ਹੋਏ। ਕਾਜੀ ਹੋਇ ਕੈ ਬਹਿ ਨਿਆਏ, ਫੇਰੇ ਤਸਬੀਹ ਕਰੇ ਖੁਦਾਏ। ਵੱਡੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹੱਕ ਗਵਾਏ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਸੁਨਾਏ। ਤੁਰਕ ਮੰਤਰ ਕਨ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਸਮਾਹੇ, ਲੋਕ ਮੁਹਾਵੇ ਚਾੜੀ ਖਾਏ। ਚੌਕਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਸੁੱਚਾ ਹੋਏ, ਐਸਾ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਵੇਖੋ ਕੋਏ। ਜੋਗੀ ਗਿਰੀ ਜਟਾਬੇ ਭੂਤ, ਆਗੇ ਪਾਛੈ ਰੋਵੈ ਪੂਤ। ਜੋਗ ਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਜੁਗਤ ਗਵਾਈ, ਕਿਤ ਕਾਰਨ ਸਿਰ ਛਾਈ ਪਾਈ। ਨਾਨਕ ਕਲ ਕਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ, ਆਪੇ ਆਖਣ ਆਪੇ ਜਾਨ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਥਰਡ। In this slok, Guruji comments on the conduct of many such hypocrites of his time, who acted like saints or yogis or other such virtuous people, but were actually liars and sinners. He says, "O my friends, in the present age, they who call themselves satis or righteous people, righteous donors, actually amass wealth by sinful deeds and then give a little bit in charity. For the sake of worldly wealth, they who call themselves as gurus are going to the houses of others to give divine instruction. A woman may call herself a faithful wife, but she loves her man only for what he earns. Otherwise, she doesn't care from where he comes and where he goes. Nobody obeys what is written in the holy books, including Shastra and Vedas. All are following the dictates of their own mind and thus doing self-worship. The one who, becoming a Qazi, Muslim judge, sits on a chair to administer justice, says the rosary and utters God's name. But accepting bribery, he deprives many of true justice. If someone questions him, he quotes some verses from the Muslim law to support his false decision. They who consider themselves as the leaders or gurus of Hindus listen to the Muslim mantra, the kalma, and keep it enshrined in their hearts. They plunder the people and then turn against them. Look at such a Hindu who, by simply plastering his courtyard, considers himself pure. As for a yogi, even though he has matted hair and has smeared himself with ashes, yet he is still a householder. Children are crying all around him because his family members are still depending on him for their sustenance. He has not obtained yoga or union with God and has lost the way to live in the world. One wonders, why has he put ashes on his head? O Nanak, this is the sign of Kali Yuga, the iron age, that people themselves are justifying and approving what they say or do. Stanza 1. महला पहला। हिंदू के घर हिंदू आवे, सूत पाए करे बुराई। संत सूत जनेऊ पड़गल पावे, नाता तोता थाए न पाई। मुसलमान करे वड्याई, बिन गुरु पीरे को थाए न पाई। रात साए ओथे को जाए, करनी बाजों पिस्त न जाए। जोगी कह कर जुगत दसाई, तित कारण कन मुंदरा पाई। मुंदरा पाए फिर संसार, जिथे किथे सिरजनहार। जेते जीते ते वटाऊ, चीरी आई ढिल न खाऊ। इथे जाने सो जाए सजाने, और फक्कड़ हिंदू मुसलमान। सबना कादर लेखा होए, करनी बाजों तरे न कोए। सचो सच वखाणै कोए, नानक अग्गै पुछ न होए। महला पहला। In the previous slok, Guruji commented on those people who posed as saints, yogis, and judges, but were the worst liars and hypocrites of their time. In this slok, he comments on another aspect of the state of his times and tells how simply by adopting certain outer garbs and performing certain rituals, people declare themselves as belonging to certain faiths, but without purifying their conduct or doing good deeds, claimed that they were going to heaven. Guruji tells all such people how without good deeds all these outer garbs and rituals are of no use. He says, "O my friends, when a child is born into a Hindu family, and thus when another Hindu comes to the house of a Hindu at certain age, after chanting some mantras, a Brahmin puts a sacred cotton thread around his neck and declares that now he has become a Hindu. But even after wearing this sacred thread, if that person indulges in bad deeds, then none of his or her sacred ablutions and purifications are approved in God's court." Similarly, a Muslim praises his own faith and says, without accepting their prophet as the Guru, no one obtains place in heaven. Everyone asks for the way to the mansion of God, but rare is the one who reaches there, because without good deeds, nobody can enter heaven. The same is true of yogis. When someone goes to the house, the monastery of a yogi to learn the way to yoga or union with God, he wears special earrings for that reason. After wearing those earrings, he roams around the world claiming that he alone knows the way to unite with God. Abandoning his home, he wanders around in jungles and mountains. But he doesn't realize that the Creator is present wherever one may look. As many are the creatures, they are all like travelers, and when the call for their return arrives, then without delay they have to depart from this world. The person who realizes God here in this world would be able to recognize that God when he or she goes to the next world. The claims that a person would go to heaven because he or she is a Hindu or a Muslim are absolutely baseless. All are judged in God's court as per the account of their deeds in this world. And without good conduct, no one is emancipated. Only a rare person remembers the eternal God alone. O Nanak, since such a person is not asked to render any account hereafter. Stanza 2. Paudi. हर गाम अंदर आखिए काया कोटगढ़ अंदर लाल जवे हर गुरमुख हर नाम पढ़ हर काम अंदर शरीरत सोना हर हर नाम दिड़ मनमुख आप खुआयन माया मोनित कड़ सबना साहिब एक है पूरे भाग पाया जाई. Paudi. Guruji concluded the previous slok with the remark that the one who remembers only the eternal God is not asked to render any account hereafter. Now he tells us how to remember that God and where his abode is. He says, "O my friends, this body is called the God's fort. Under the guidance of the Guru, meditate on God's name and you will obtain the rubies and pearls of divine virtues." Yes, this body, which is the mention of God, is extremely beautiful. Firmly instill God's name in it. As for the self-conceited ones, God himself has strayed them from the right path, and every day they keep agonizing in worldly attachments. But one thing to remember is that there is only one master of all the creatures who is only obtained by perfect destiny. Paudi 11. The message of this Paudi is that no matter what social position we may have, or what faith we may adopt, what garbs we may wear, or what rituals we may perform, we cannot reach the mention of God without good deeds and without remembering the eternal God who is residing right in our bodies and is the treasure of invaluable virtues. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. SGGSP 951-952. Thank you.